Hi everybody, welcome to this front 9 playthrough for the Spooky Showdown 18-hole cup, full 18 holes of TPC Sawgrass for you to enjoy. Before we get started, please hit thumbs up on the channel, on the video here, and subscribe to the channel as well, totally free to do so. Like I said, this is the front 9, holes 1 to 9. There will be a back 9 video coming up on the channel for 10 to 18, so check that as well. Pro and Expert Division middle tee, even though the replays here are from Pro, they will absolutely be valid for Expert. You just need to tweak the spins and the adjustments slightly, and you will need to do that anyway according to the wind directions you face in the tournament, and also to cater for your club's balls and play style. Timestamps in the video description down below. There are some good opportunities for drops here, so remember to let me know how you get on with this full 18-hole cup on TPC Sawgrass. Good luck. Here we go with hole number 1. Now, in tailwind, this will be drivable easily with a berserker or maybe even less. But in this nasty headwind angle, I'm going to show you a layup with a Titan or a Kingmaker, whichever one to use. Quarterback for the ball guide and accuracy, 1 bar of top spin, 2 bars side spin to the right. And we're setting up there with the white ring touching the rough. The idea here is going to be to lay up short before the hazards and before the dog leg, and then approach the eagle from distance. Max plus 10 is the adjustment here. Like I said, in tailwind you can put a berserker on, go between 1 and 2 bars of top spin from max rest position with the berserker, with 2 bars of right spin and right curl. You are going to get yourself on the green. But laying up there, we're going to leave ourselves a thorn shot. I'm looking at my club distance here. I'm going to play it true club distance. You can see when I aim closer to the green, I get a flatter bounce. I don't want the high bounce from the slope before the green. So try and aim towards the beginning of the fringe here. I've got the inner ring touching the fringe line. This is a no spin shot, so nice and simple. In tournaments, obviously, you can build yourself some pin check references or ring checks, depending where you are, or drive distance notes as well. But as a general rule, true club distance, 0 elevation. In the video here, I played this one 65% on the slider. More information on reference checks, true club distance and slider on our Academy tutorial playlist on the channel home page. Pull over the bullseye here, offsetting left of the cup to compensate for the wind push. Obviously, you would need to change that with other wind directions, dropping it nicely for an eagle on this par 4. On this par 5, we've got a bit of a dogleg to contend with. I'm going to set up with the quarterback, and we're going to add spin with the quarterback as well. We're going with a katana in the end. Katana or a Kingmaker, we need 3 bars of side spin. I'm going with 3 left spin, 5 top spin. Now, once we've found position, top of plus 10 with the quarterback, we then switch to Apocalypse, Thor's Hammer, or Extra Mile. You don't have to have the Apocalypse level 8. You could play this one with a much lower level club as well. Max plus 0 is the adjustment. The reason I'm setting up with the quarterback is so that we don't need to pull into overpower at all. I'm going here with half a ball of curl to the left, and you can see just finding the point where the circle drops for our overpower reference. Depending on the wind strength, you can either go just before that, or you can do circle drop OP. It doesn't really matter. You're finding the middle of the fairway very nicely with this setup. Drive distance around 332. Now, we have got to long iron range here, which is good, so no need to push the drive any further than that. True club distance, again, going here with the Grizzly for the ball guide and the accuracy. You can see we've got pretty much headwind here. And making sure the ball guide is through the hole, this is another no-spin shot. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of an offset needed here, or a tweak to the adjustment. I like the adjustment though. I play it true club distance, 0 elevation, as this hole is fairly flat, so no need to worry about anything ridiculously downhill. Pulling rings here, you will see this is a narrow miss, so a small tweak to the aim to compensate in this wind angle would be good. Obviously, in tailwind, you will leave the ball guide about a green square short of the pin, and crosswind left or right, you can offset accordingly depending on your wind strength. But a decent chance on this par 5. Onto a par 3 now, and I'm going to play with the long iron here, comfortably in mid-distance, so we can always go with the Grizzly. In the end, I try to go with 1 bar of right spin, but then I think really this flight of the ball is going to go against the wind a little bit. So I remove the side spin and just play with 1 bar of back spin instead, so I can aim more directly at the hole. Obviously, crosswind, you'd need a bit more backspin, tailwind, a couple of bars more. All depends on the wind angle you get. Aiming with the ball guide just through the hole here, because the headwind is going to compress the flight of the ball, different to what is shown on the ball guide, of course. Mid plus 20 here, little tweak needed to the aim, but again, these are just starting points. You can put these tweaks in when you know what wind angle you're dealing with. But in all wind angles here, you are going to play comfortably with your long iron, and you don't need anything more than a side spin 2 ball. NMT drive with the quarterback and a power 1 ball on this par 4. So load the hole with that ball and club, and you're in the right position. 4 top spin, and we're going with half a bar of side spin to the right. We could actually push this one a little bit further, to be honest. I was a little bit on the short side. I'm still fine to play with the thorn on my second shot, but I am close to max distance. So in headwind angle, I would recommend you go with APOC or extra mile, start higher up, so you can just get a few more yards on the drive. Max plus 0 with the quarterback here. No curl, no overpower, just centre the ball and hit perfect. Like I said, if you want to push it a bit further, you can do. It will make the second shot a little bit easier, but you've still got a chance, even if you replicate this drive with this drive distance. The fairway does slope down to the right, as you can see there. We get a drive distance of 314 yards. Now, I'm going to play a max backspin shot here, because I think it's a very good way to drop the eagle, because there's not a lot of room to land on the green. So max backspin, and then I'm aiming with the ball guide to the hole. There may be some offsets required in different wind angles. This was my first look at this hole, to be honest. So we are getting the tip of the ball guide to the pin, and then I'm playing true club distance, 20 elevation in the video. However, need a little bit of a tweak to the adjustment. I would recommend you play with 25% instead. This was slightly under adjusted. So true club distance, 25% elevation. I think I played in the example here in 85% slider. Like I said, I was fairly close to max club, but still got plenty of room to adjust. But the max backspin thorn is a good chance to try for your eagle. On this hole, I had a case of the greats on both shots, but I'm going to give you tweaks to what I think would work nicely with a perfect ball. So it is still a useful first look. Quarterback, blue ring touching the rough on the right at the top of plus 10. In the end, I did decide to modify the position slightly, but we'll come to that in a moment. 5 top spin, 2 bars side spin to the right, keeping it cheap with a Titan. In the end, I shunt over half a ring to the right and have half of the blue ring overlapping. Then I switch to my APOC extra mile or Thor's hammer bag once I've found position with the quarterback. Max plus 10, and here you will see I hit a great ball. As a tweak with a perfect, I would recommend you play with more curl. So full overpower, slow needle, but instead go with half a ball of curl rather than kind of a third of the ball. And this will work out just fine, but this gives you a rough idea of how you want to play the hole. Bouncing nicely, as you can see, we find the middle of the fairway, luckily with our great right, but a bit more curl off a perfect will have you in the same spot. Second shot, another great ball here. There is a funnel. Sadly, the funnel was not forgiving enough to drop my great left, but the setup is going to be the same, obviously with a perfect and a couple of tokens to tweak according to your wind angle. I like landing on the fringe here because it removes the glitchy ball guide, and then I apply spin to get that ball guide going just to the left of the pin. You can see moving left and right. There is a small funnel there, not the biggest in the game, but it's a very nice little track to the hole. I pushed up 20 rings from min. I play this one 20% on the slider. I would recommend you go with 5% elevation here. There is a little bit of downhill to deal with, but the all-important thing, you will need to hit perfect, of course, to properly test your adjustment. I'm giving you the tweaks here based on my experience of the game. But as with all of these shots, you need to tweak according to your wind angle anyway. But I like this little channel to the pin. I think there's a good chance here with a perfect ball. On the drive here, I'm actually going to play with a high-level Thor's Hammer. You don't need the Thor's Hammer 8. You could play this with a lower-level club as well. But I would go with a Berserker. Even in this wind angle, I think it's worth going to green. Of course, there are layup options if you want to investigate those. You can see here I'm applying topspin, about 7 bars. Look at that second bounce. Have it just before the rough, especially as there is some headwind. Obviously, if there was tailwind, you would need to ease off on the topspin or set up further back so that second bounce is at least a ring before the rough, because the tailwind would push you closer to the rough. Difficult to adjust this one. I probably should have pushed the rings, but there you go. Max plus 5. I adjusted max plus 10 in the video, applied some overpower according to what I adjusted into to make sure I make it over there. You will see this one goes a little bit to the right because it is over adjusted. So max plus 5 will get you a better line. We wouldn't be flirting with the rough at all, and we would just roll nicely onto the green for a much easier putt. On the drive here, we're going to go with a Kingmaker. It's not essential. You could play with a Katana, but to get the distance, it is nice to use a Kingmaker if possible. Setting up as shown, and then we're going to go directly with the Apocalypse here, plus 10 with APOC 5 and above. A ring reference there for APOC 8 is red ring touching the rough. APOC 4, you'd be at P6 max rest. 5.8 top spin, 3 left spin, max plus 0. And then we're going to take our shot. We're going to add half a ball of curl to the left, and then I go with circle drop overpower to compensate for adjusting downhill into that bunker. Coming in very nicely here, finding the centre of the fairway. Drive distance approximately is going to be around 360 yards. The second shot, I'm going to play true club distance here, and again with the thorn, finding the min line, finding the max line, and then we're going to find a nice setup point with the blue ring touching the beginning of the fringe where it meets the fairway. You can see I've got a nice consistent ball guide. It's not jumping around, so we've got a decent chance here. No spin, keep it nice and simple. You might need to add a small amount in other wind angles, but if you can play no spin, it gives you more time to concentrate on getting your other elements of the shot dialed in. True club distance, 0 elevation. That is a tweak because I played with a different elevation in the video. It's either change the elevation or I do less offset, or a combination of the two, but it was a first look. Just to show you, you can easily get to thorn range here. It is going to be a very good chance for an eagle. So true club distance in all wind angles, I would recommend as a base elevation, you play with 0% and tweak from there. Right, I show you a possible setup for a bounce up here. If you don't want to play the rough bump, you can play with a side spin, 3 bars of side spins. That's a side spin 6 plus ball, play with about 4 back spin and go that way, but you will need more wind angle tweaks. Now, the rough bump, again, this is a first look at the rough bump, but not a bad first look. It's all about getting the landing position correct and the back spin. Now, it took me a while to find the position, even though I timed out on my first shot. I still couldn't find the spot. But in the end, I settle on something very nice indeed. You will need a side spin 6 or a side spin 5 ball, because in the end I go with a click or 2 more than 2 right spin. We're at plus 2 with sniper level 10. There's a good reference for you. Mid plus 0, power 6 would be my recommendation. That's what I did in the video. Small tweak to the spin maybe, but the idea is the same. I go with a couple of clicks of underpower only because I adjusted uphill to a higher point. But I think the rough bump there is the way to go, but you will need a token or 2 first. Par 5 here, and really you need to get the big dog or the cataclysm in your bag. I only had the sniper, so I had to make do with this one. With the rock and the titan, playing with the rock for the ball guide and accuracy, 5 top spin, and we're going to go with some right spin as shown. I want to aim to the top right corner of this fairway. Once again, I could have pushed this one a little bit harder, so if you want to stay with the rock level 9, you can. If you are lacking top spin, I would actually then play with the extra mile or the apocalypse, just so you get the distance. Or the Thor's Hammer, of course. You've got good ball guide on that one. Max plus 10. If I did this drive over again with the rock level 9, I would play with circle drop overpower just to give myself a bit more distance. Or I would push up maybe 2 rings after my adjustment instead. Now, I have a go with the sniper here. I just about hold it to fringe. What I really want you to do, though, is play with the big dog or cataclysm. You will have an extra 10 yards on your club. You can then set further up, especially if you get the drive longer, and play away from the bunker, play with probably backspin rather than topspin, and it will be a much easier job holding to the green. I actually have to guess the curl here because I don't have the distance on the sniper, so that's my error for not packing the right club, but at least you will learn from the mistake I made in the video. Regardless of the club you're using, though, I would play this one max distance, 0 elevation. As you can see, if you do make the same mistake as me, go with more curl in this wind angle. You kind of need 0.8 ball curl to the left rather than the amount I used. Luckily, we hold it to the fringe, but with a big dog or cat, you could play more aggressively and hopefully get yourself an albatross on this tricky par 5. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.